Today on the Yamaha Whitetail Diaries.
Out here in West Texas, brought out a couple of our media friends and just wanted to show off our vehicles, give them a good time, give them a good hunt out here. And you would never normally have a social media influencer, a digital writer, and a race team manager that are all on the same property. Is all worth it in the end.
Well, it's the beginning week of rifle season here in South Texas, which means we have some very special guests in camp as it's time for the annual Yamaha Media Event.
Out here for Whitetail Diaries with a couple of our media friends. Just want to show off what some of our proven off-road side-by-sides can do for them, and the product is just one component of the bigger picture. We want everyone to have a good time. We want to spread the message about how great hunting is, just from a team standpoint, just having good time, sharing good time with everyone. You don't really have any downtime. We get to play cornhole and everything in between, building these relationships. But in the end, yes, I mean the side-by-sides that we have, they're going to get you out to the stand. They're going to get your harvest, whatever that it is, bring it back to camp, and you're going to do it and go in some very extreme situations if you have to. And that's the crazy thing about Texas. You could have flatlands, you could have some hills, you could have some rocky areas, some washouts. You never know when a rainstorm's gonna blow through and you gotta go through some mud or whatever. So just knowing that you have Yamaha behind you makes things all the better. Well, we have a very unique group, I'll just put it that way. First person is Jessica Nyberg. She is a kind of a former TV personality, and now she has a great following on social media. And we brought her out along with Emily Kanter, who's with Peterson's Hunting, formerly in the, she's traditionally a bow hunter, but just recently, she is now writing for Peterson's Hunting as opposed to Peterson's bow hunting. So she came out here to test out some of the TC firearms that we have. And the last person we have, very unique, very individual, something that's kind of out of the norm, if you will, Randy Hawkins, who is the racing manager for our AmPro racing team, as well as does a lot of stuff in-house for us too. Former racer for Yamaha overall, and it's one of those things where you never know what you're gonna get with people. You never know who is a hunter out there. Figured we'd go ahead, shoot him an invite as well to come out to Texas, and he was available for this week, and he's out here now and joining us for such this wonderful weekend.
The units, the Wolverine and the Viking, perform just unbelievably. It's like, I don't think Yamaha's cut any corners in producing this a unit. It was so much fun to ride around with and see the country with it. One of the most things I could not believe was how quiet the Wolverines were. It was absolutely amazing on it. So, no, it makes, it's like anything, any tool you have, when you have the right tool, it makes the job easier. And I'm telling you what, Yamaha has nailed it, because they've given you the right tool for this kind of application of recreation and using it as a hunting vehicle or farm or whatever. So, pretty excited.
Not only do you get to spend time with, the wonderful people that you do, and you get to hear and share stories with everybody, testing out the products and really pushing their limits is really outstanding. You get to see what their product, what it's capable of, and honestly, it's truly impressive, because things that I've done here, the terrain, I wouldn't even think about doing back home, but I know what they can do. So to me, that's really special.
As part of the media, working on the editorial side of things, we're able to share with our readers some of the best equipment in the industry, give our firsthand experiences of them. So not just, repeating some information we've heard from a company, but actually getting to use those firsthand and share with our readers the value of these products and that they really do work.
Now, to learn more about all of Yamaha's proven off-road vehicles, head on over to YamahaOutdoors.com or visit your local Yamaha dealer. But when we return, we'll kick off our annual Yamaha Media Hunt with Jessica Nyberg. Stay tuned. The Yamaha Whitetail Diaries is brought to you by Yamaha's proven off-road ATVs and side-by-side vehicles. Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, your adventure starts here. Garmin Zero, leave the guesswork behind.
We know if you found one crappie, you may have found 1,000. We know the joy of getting your boots back in the mud. We know the journey can be more rewarding than the destination. We know the great outdoors. We love the great outdoors. Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Stop by today for huge savings on the gear you need and the brands you trust. Plus free 2-day shipping at BassPro.com and Cabela's.com.
The all-new Yamaha Wolverine X2. With a compact chassis perfect for exploring tight technical terrain. An ultra-quiet and smooth 850 class twin-cylinder engine. And next-level versatility with a 600-pound dumping cargo bed. No other side-by-side delivers this level of proven off-road performance. The all-new Wolverine X2 from Yamaha.
Welcome back to the Yamaha Whitetail Diaries with Wade Middleton. It's our annual Yamaha Media Hunt out at the Whitetail Diaries Deer Camp. We have Jessica Nyberg, Emily Kanter from Peterson's Hunting, and Randy Hawkins from Yamaha's Racing Division here in camp. Now, Randy will be featured in a future episode, so we'll get things underway with Jessica Nyberg.
We're in Texas in the middle of nowhere, and we are hunting whitetail this morning. And it is 50 degrees and beautiful out. It's warm for me. Well, we're gonna get in the Yamaha side-by-sides and head out to our stand. And hopefully some deer or pigs will come along and just have a great morning. When we showed up, a 10-pointer came out of just nowhere and was probably 10 yards in front of us. Oh, that's a nice deer. That's pretty impressive. And he was a really nice deer. He was younger, but he was really nice. And so it was fun to watch him, and we kind of paid attention to what he was doing. And he didn't stop and eat much. He just walked down the trail about 150 yards and started rubbing on all the trees, and that was really nice to see. And
oh, there he's screaming. Yeah, look at him.
We kept watching that 10-pointer closely, and there were a handful of times we could have shot him, but he was just on that borderline age group. And so we made the decision, you know, I was like, you know, let's hold off on that, let's wait. I mean, he was beautiful. I'd never seen anything like this, and he immediately got my heart racing. You know, it was tall, it was wide, it was perfect, but again, just looking at him, you're questioning that age. After watching him for a while, we knew that he wasn't one to just kind of stick around. He was passing through. He didn't stop to eat or anything. He just jumped up on his, got up on his hind legs and started scraping on the trees and just kind of moved on after that, and we never saw him after he disappeared into the woods. It couldn't have started out any better. Time goes by and out walks a huge 8-pointer. It stood about 200 yards, walked down the path a little bit, noticed where the other one rubbed and was like, And so he started rubbing over it, it was really cool to watch.
Wait, that is the same one. Nope, it's not.
He's actually an older deer.
I was just gonna say he's a lot older.
You know, that 8-pointer, I mean, he was just old, and he just didn't have a care in the world. You know, he just took his time with everything, and once he showed up, we kind of knew he just wasn't going anywhere. Nothing seemed to bother him. It was really interesting to see, because you'd think the older the deer, the more skittish he'd be, but he really wasn't. He disappeared for a while, and then it was almost quitting time, and just out of nowhere, he came back. walked in from 150 yards, came back in. He disappeared for a while and just showed up right at the last minute. Whew, that was a good shot. I'm excited. Every time I shoot a deer, no matter how many times I've shot a deer, it always feels like my first time. I'm happy, I'm excited, my adrenaline is just rushing through my body and I can't stop smiling. I'm so happy with that deer. He's a good deer and he's an old deer.
After a good amount of time had passed, they called Wade to come out and track the deer with them.
Well, it's one of my favorite things to do is track deer. People think I'm crazy for loving to do it, but that's just part of it. That's part of the hunt. I love going and finding my deer, and I love every step through the hunt, from waking up in the morning to sitting in the stands and going through all the motions, you know, all the happiness. But yeah, walking up, knowing that you did that, it almost makes you want to cry happy tears every time. So he went this way. He's right there. Woo! Hell yeah! Oh my God, look at him!
I like all the little bends in him. I just think that's neat.
Yeah.
How his main beam kind of goes down.
And the little crab claw in the front, a little bit.
Look at bends in right there. I love old deer. Just the stories they could tell.
Yep.
I mean, the cape on him. Look at his big. I mean, his cape's perfect too, all the way back, big dark line on him.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
He's pretty. Thank you. Again, I was filled with so much excitement I could barely talk. You know. And I think it was because we watched him for so long and just everything that happened in that hunt. There was just so many events and so much going on that I was ecstatic that he was just there, that I did that. I felt I made every right decision during this hunt, and that's what was so satisfying and rewarding in the end.
Congratulations, Jessica, on your entry into the Yamaha Whitetail Diaries. Don't go anywhere. More Yamaha Whitetail Diaries action when we return. The Yamaha Whitetail Diaries is brought to you by Thompson Center, America's master gun maker. Stealth Cam digital scouting cameras, proven. Walkers, protect it or lose it. Bradley Smoker, food smoking made easy.
How do you aim a 36-yard shot with a 30-yard fixed pin at a 15-degree angle with a 7-inch holdover without moving a single pin? Easy. You get one of these. Zero, the auto-ranging digital bow sight from Garmin.
Welcome back to the Yamaha Whitetail Diaries with Wade Middleton. With Jessica's whitetail hunt wrapped up, let's go see how Emily's first morning went.
We had a good morning this morning. Before even first light, we had some hogs coming in. Shortly after, we had a nice young buck come in. He was feeding for a while. We had some does and fawns come in. They hung out for a long time too, and so overall, pretty good morning with lots of action.
While Emily takes the Yamaha Viking back to camp, let's learn more about the Yamaha vehicles that our hunters are using for this trip.
So out here this week, we have our Viking, which is a 3-seat, more utility-oriented side-by-side, along with our Viking 6, the Ranch Edition, Very beautiful vehicle, has all sorts of bells and whistles on top of it to just kind of give it that real showroom appeal, but you know, can even work it in the real world environment too. And then our latest lineup is our Wolverine X2 and our Wolverine X4, which is more of kind of like that, you know, it skews a little utility, but also is very adventure oriented, kind of a little bit sport oriented too. And the cool thing was, before I even talked about the Wolverine X2 and the Wolverine X4, when all the media and even just Randy got behind the wheel, they were blown away at how quiet and smooth that the engine was. And that's something that, you know, you always have a benefit, whether it's going out, you know, to your hunt or even just driving with the family, driving with the friends. You want to be able to hold those conversations and not have to worry about, you know, screaming to the person and, you know, trying to figure out what they're trying to say. The very cool thing about all of the Yamaha side-by-sides, for one, the thing that I really grow to appreciate is the fact that they're all assembled in USA down our factory in Noonan, Georgia. Not only is that for the States, that's for the world too. And we take such great pride in making sure that these vehicles are truly proven off-road. Capable, comfort, and confidence are kind of like the three pillars that we always stand by with our vehicles. And you know, being able to show the media that it's you know, real world, that's actually the case. It is applicable when you're going out on these hunts. You are going to be comfortable in it. You're going to have a lot of confidence when you're out there driving it, because you know that it's going to get you to the stand, it's going to get you back no matter what you're going through. And they're very capable at that too. So I mean, these vehicles aren't even being used for just the drive back and forth from the hunt. They're not being used just for going to and from, you know, wherever your animal is that you got. It's filling the feeders day in and day out, you know, having to fix any fences, fix whatever that it is, and that is just one tool in the arsenal that we have out here at camp.
Hey, another tool that Emily is using is the Thompson Center Encore Pro Hunter, which she's taken to the range to look things over one more time before her next hunt.
So I was using the Thompson Center Encore 308. I had never shot one before, and the single shot rifle, so that was new for me too. It was good to get out on the range and just get a shot off, make sure I feel comfortable with it, had a good fit, and I was able to go out into the field confidently and shoot that, and a lot of fun. So we were in some tripod stands this morning, saw some deer. We're gonna try out a new spot for the evening. We're getting in pretty early, but the weather has cleared up, so the deer might be moving a little bit later. We're gonna be in a box stand, and there's been a lot of deer movement there on trail camera. We got to look at a really nice 9-pointer, so we're hoping he comes through tonight, but either way, we're hoping to see a lot of nice deer.
As Emily heads out for her afternoon hunt, we'll take a short break and join her in the field when we return. The Yamaha Whitetail Diaries is brought to you by Smith & Wesson Performance Center. Performance when it matters most. Sawyer, we keep you outdoors. Engel Coolers, the original high-performance cooler.
Protect it or lose it.
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 Protect it
Or lose it.
Protect it or lose it.
Welcome back to the Yamaha Whitetail Diaries with Wade Middleton. Emily is ready for her afternoon hunt in a new area that's seen plenty of action.
Headed in early to the spot that Wade was really excited about that afternoon. He had some great bucks on trail camera. We were actually able to pick a target that we were really hoping to find, a nice 9-pointer. Within about 5 minutes of getting in our stand, we saw a doe come in, followed by a nice buck. Wasn't exactly what we were looking for, but he was a really nice buck, and I'm sure he'll be great in another year or so. And they just started pouring in after that, several different bucks, and then we spotted that 9-pointer that we were waiting for. So he was being a little difficult, hiding behind some brush. Actually difficult to keep track of which buck is which is an awesome problem to have. So there was a really nice 8-pointer, but we were excited about the 9-pointer, a little bit of a different rack with that kicker on his G2. So that's the one we decided I was gonna go with, and waited for him to come out into the open. And once he got there, he was not broadside, he was facing us feeding, and then he started to turn a little bit and deer got behind him, and it was back and forth like that for a while. I was getting very anxious. Sun was shining in my eyes, so it made it tough to see through the scope. And so after a while, he finally presented me with the perfect shot. Are we good? Good. Did I hit him?
Yeah.
He stopped, didn't he?
I'm not sure. I lost him in the trees over here.
Was it a good shot?
I think, truthfully, I have to go back and look. He flinched. It looked at aiming on his shoulder.
I thought so. I mean, like right behind the shoulder.
Right behind the shoulder, yeah. That's pretty intense.
Oh my gosh, I was definitely shaking.
What do you think?
Oh my gosh. That was the longest however many minutes of my life. I took the shot, I felt good about it, but immediately I looked up. We saw him go behind some thick brush and some trees, and a bunch of deer took off, and we didn't see him come out, but we weren't sure. So rather than push him if he was hurt and not down, we decided to quietly back out of there. We came back to camp and reviewed the film, and it looked like it was in fact a pretty good shot. So we headed back out with Mike from camp, and we were prepared to track him. Got out there, we're looking for exactly where I shot him, looking for some sign of blood.
Oh. He went 30 feet.
Oh. Oh. That was a short one, huh? Oh, thank goodness. Oh, we got him. All right, so this is the 9-pointer we had seen on the trail camera. Really nice buck. We had several bucks come in trying to make the choice, and glad we waited for this guy. I was really nervous after the shot because he didn't drop. But we reviewed the footage and it was going to be a good shot, so we came out here and sure enough, he was right where we thought he dropped. Yeah, there's so much that has to come together between the weather and the deer movement and just one deer not being behind another. There's so many things that have to come together. The culmination of all that work that Wade and the guides here have put in to keeping track of the deer on trail cameras and scouting things, and we've been practicing shooting or different things like that. So it's all that hard work and excitement comes together in one moment, and it's just a blast when it all comes together.
Congratulations, Emily, on a great entry into the Yamaha Whitetail Diaries. Well, that'll do it for us here from the Yamaha Media Event. We'll see you next time.
Feed your need for speed. The Nitro XRT unleashes speeds up to 470 feet per second, producing 25% flatter arrow trajectory, resulting in knock-breaking accuracy and unprecedented knockdown power. The world has never seen a crossbow this fast, accurate, and compact. The Nitro XRT from 10-Point.
We plan all year for this. We hone our skills. We have confidence in the gear we choose. We pour over thousands of images and videos. time comes, will you be ready? Introducing the all-new 4K camera by Stealth Cam. Proven.
Many said that we were just obsessed when we started, that there had to be an easier way to smoke food. As time passed, the Bradley family created a lineup of Bradley electric smokers that has made it easier for the novice or even expert chef to get perfect results every time they use it. Grab yourself a Bradley smoker and take your cooking to an all-new level.
For precise prescription eyewear, Wiley X knows there's no room for error. We meticulously craft our own prescription lenses to fit our high-wrap frames. And our ANSI safety-rated lenses are tested to uncompromising standards. Nothing but precise. Because precision is everything.
What does it take to make EverCalm deer scent? It takes a deer farmer who raises whitetails. It takes mixing the special blend of EverCalm, testing each batch.
Smells like deer.
And then pouring each container. Each container is cleaned, examined, and packaged for shipping. It takes the finest deer herd and a great team of people to make the best hunting scent available. EverCalm from Conquest Scents.
Want to know why the top shooting pros choose High-Vis? High-Vis has an enormous lineup of sights for every shooting platform possible that are clean looking and easy to mount. Improve your shooting with faster target acquisition and eliminate cross-eyed dominance. High-Vis sights are the brightest out there, helping you find your target with ease, no matter the shooting conditions. Choose the best. Choose High-Vis and see what you've been missing.
Nobody likes crawling, creepy, or flying bugs. So ward them off with Sawyer Permethrin. It's more than a repellent. This odorless spray repels and kills mosquitoes, ticks, and more than 55 other kinds of insects. Sawyer, we keep you outdoors.
We demand a lot from the products that we use on our adventures around the world. When it comes to keeping things seriously cold, we rely on Angle Coolers, who have for over 50 years kept things cold. Angle Coolers, the original high-performance cooler.
I came back from Afghanistan with a traumatic brain injury. I couldn't talk. I still can't talk right. I didn't want to leave the house. Then my wife, God bless her, she got me off the couch and said, hey, enough's enough. You got to get back outdoors. The hunting gave me a whole new purpose, you know. It sped up my recovery big time. When I was deployed, I trusted Trijicon, and I still do today. Sergeant Rob Gustafson, U.S. Army retired.
Trijicon, brilliant aiming solutions.